What's up, everybody? How you doing? I thought I forgot I did the 30-second counter. I was trying to do the other intro. No worries, though. Here we are. Last Mile, episode 37, I think. But yeah, a couple things, guys. Let's jump into some stuff today for sure. Here, let me flip over to this first. What's up, Traveler? What's up, Cody? So as smack that like, guys, so that others can join in here. Couple things. So I had a talk with Mike Harubi today. If you guys know, I've had Mike on many times. And his newjobsamerica.com, his be my own boss legislation. Again, I know a lot don't like the word legislation, but this is legislation that literally has no bad, just protects us. I had a long conversation with Mike today, and after the conversation, I threw out a couple ideas during our talk, and he sent me this text, and I'm going to read it, but I'm also going to next week I'm going to kind of, it's pretty easy. Let me read it, and then I'm going to be putting a short or something together on it, because I think it's well, we know it's important. So during that talk, we were talking about a lot of things that could help, and the ways that Mike was seeing to get those people. And basically what it is if you're new to all this and you're wondering what's he talking about, Mike Harubi is he writes federal legislation. He lives in Massachusetts. But he writes legislation that's passed in DC a lot. But he's an independent contractor who believes that everybody has the right to be what they want to be, as long as you're within the legal bounds of the law. And he's fought for this for several years. So right now, he's like one of those biggest fighters that I've mentioned before, who is really fighting for us. Even if you don't understand independent contractorship and you're on these apps, Mike's one of those guys who's behind the scenes. He's fighting for it on the freelancer, self-employed, writers, whatever. I mean, the 40% of the American workforce that is independent contractors, which also does include gig app work. So the bottom line is we need to stop this DOL thing. Well, Mike and I had a long talk. Here was his text, and then I'll quickly go over this and we'll jump into some other stuff. Thanks, Steve, for the links. I will get them. I will get to them tomorrow morning, I hope. I sure I will enjoy them and learn a lot. Most of all, I want to thank you for your idea to widely solicit 1-minute selfie videos of drivers, delivery, dashers, freelancers, ICs, freelancers. I think the second freelancers or the first, he meant self-employed, because that's what we were discussing, to shoot and upload. Your idea of reaching out to experienced allies in the podcast community, and that's going to also apply to creators on YouTube. So all the creators on YouTube who are watching this is going to be something I'm going to directly approach you guys with, for sure. So because I need your help with this, guys. I do. But he's saying your idea of reaching out to your experienced allies in the podcast community to spread the word is brilliant. No one has ever tried this in our self-employed world. It will break the resistance in Congress. Having testimonial videos with a totally positive spin will be extremely difficult for the unions and the left to beat. The entire country is so sick of the negative power of the left. Again, guys, I need to clarify here. This is not a bag on left or right. This is just to remain independent contractors. That does fall on one side of the spectrum when you're trying to push for the votes. The left does, even if the people are staying neutral, they don't want this. They don't want us to be independent contractors. So that's what he's kind of referring to here. But you just invented a spear for everyone. I think I missed one, but you just invented a spear for everyone to chuck at the problem. Way to go, Steve-O. So I think this was the one I missed. I guess they came in. This is a huge breakthrough. Like you say, it's immediate, easy, and means a lot. These were done out of order, you guys. Sorry. We can do so much with these words and pictures and our audience contact information. This will crack the resistance wide open. So, what we're talking about here is literally anybody. Doesn't matter if you are a content creator, doesn't matter if, like, everybody in the chat, you guys who watch our content, watch this content, know how big of a battle this is. I know that on Sunday, Pedro had Hannibal and I on to discuss what's going on in sanctuary cities. And he was, when we did touch on the independent contractor stuff, he said, "What can you do?" And I've pushed driverrights.org, but that everybody please do that, and I'll keep to do that. But right now, after talking to Mike, this is what I came up with during our conversation, and he's saying this is exactly what we need to do. So the idea here is content creators, yes, please do this, and then also tell your communities, or ask them to. I mean, here's the thing, it's Mike's legislation is very easy. I'm not going to go over that here today, even though it is easy. But basically, we have the right to say we want to be independent contractors. It's a right you're afforded by the Constitution. I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing in this country that should be stopping it until this rule change on March 11th, which then it becomes on a case by case basis. What we're asking you to do is to, I said 30 to 60 seconds, and he was saying, well, it takes about 60 seconds to get 60 words out. So it'll probably be all 60 minutes. But I honestly think 30 to 60 seconds, whatever. I'm going to create a link, maybe directly to the website or something where you can upload a 1-minute video. And all I want you to do is take your phone, and I just want you to, I mean, this is how simple it is. Take your phone, hit record. I mean, do it however you guys want, but just say your first name and the city you're in. This is Steve in Denver. I want to remain an independent contractor because, and here's the thing, keep it positive. No negative stuff like, screw these companies, and don't take, it's not about lashing out. This is about stopping the independent contractor rule from growing. This is our argument. So just record 30 to 60 seconds on why you like being an independent, not why you need to, not what you do if it stopped or anything negative, just a positive, why you like the gig economy, you know um if of course, to most of us flexibility is going to be there, but anything else you can add too, like, I mean, even Mike and I were discussing, if you have kids, like, okay, I like it for the flexibility. I have children, it makes my, because I've seen things lately where, I saw a special just the other day, or it was like a 20-minute video on YouTube that I watched that said childcare can get upwards of 90 grand a year. So at 90 grand a year, most people don't make that much. So at that point, you might as well not work and just stay home with your kid. But then how do you pay for life? So 1-minute videos, you guys. I'm going to put a link up. I'm going to see if I don't have enough room on my website to allow this, because every day I'll just kind of pull them down so that I don't need to have too much room, because a minute video off a phone shouldn't be a ton. And as long as I'm clearing it out, because what we're going to do is file these per state. So we're going to keep, again, first name and the market you're in, no biggie. And then we'll figure out how you'll get it to me. I'll have that set up by hopefully like tomorrow, because this is very important, you guys. And that's what I was reading you from Mike, even though it was out of order. It was like a Tarantino movie, I know, but just bear with me. But yeah, just a simple video. Why you like it. I mean, it could be why you like the gig economy too, but really, if it could be, think of it like, we're making a video and we're making a catalog. I mean, he's now going to do this on his site too. We're going to be pushing this on Twitter. We're going to be asking Kim and Karen and some of the other groups, Fight for Freelancers, to also be collecting these. And we're going to have a huge index per state of people who are saying, for all different kinds of reasons, why they want to remain independent contractors. And so therefore, when we get to having to battle a state like, let's use Kim's state, New Jersey. When New Jersey is going to have a fight, we have the gig people that we brought on who created videos, but we'll also have freelance writers, self-employed, um, anybody who is in that 40% of independent contractors in this company, and we'll get it through all the different outlets that we use. That's why I work with all these people, because it's great, because I'm the gig side of it, the gig app side of it, but I also work in the traditional side. But they have the traditional side covered so much better than me in terms of this fight anyway, especially with like Kim's lawsuit, and the other three ladies who are suing the federal government, suing the Department of Labor. So like we've all got it from different ways, but I'm now working directly with Mike, and we're looking to put this huge catalog together that any state that gets ready to go will submit the videos, because videos are more than just words on paper or a, and I'm not trying to still think you guys should go to driver rights and do an email to your senator. It takes 2 minutes. Driver singular rights.org. But listen, guys, do this. You know, let me create the portal first. Let me figure out how I can do this the cheapest, and where I've got enough storage or whatever to do it. So, but that's a big thing. It's going to help. And again, all these other groups are doing it too. Honestly, if you were, if I had done it in order, um, if I had done it in order, it would have probably made a little more sense. But um, so real quickly, I won't even read them. Let me just see if I can. Okay, so okay, here we go. I'll do them in order real quick, and I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to put them up for like 5 seconds each. So, or not. I'll just here. You know, I'm just going to put it up, and that way on the replay or whatever, if you guys are watching and you want to pause it, go ahead. Don't worry, we're almost through it. Boom. So you can go back and watch the replay, pause it, or if you just read it right now, there you go. That's and then Mike and I next week, or probably the week after, because he's got a thing where he's got to be out in Portland Monday through Thursday, because we were going to try and do this. But I'm going to be putting out a couple shorts, maybe doing a plug or two, and obviously on other platforms too. But the week after, watch for this. DoorDash, Uber, gig app workers, we need your help. Be my own boss. That's Mike Ruby and I. And this is only going to be a 20 to 25 minute live stream, that not next week, but the week after we'll be doing. So it will not even go unless you guys have questions. So Mike and I'll have an hour designated as a hard stop hour, but we're actually just counting on doing 20 to 25 minutes of explaining what you could do here and how many different ways it's going to help. So again, guys, thank you for that. Thank you for bearing with me on that. I always like to talk about things like this, especially right now until March 11th. Know that I'm still going to talk about last mile stuff too, but this is going to be sprinkled all over until March 11th, all over content, because I know that many of you are counting on me to bring the content, or the what I know and who the people I talk to and what I'm doing over to here, and that's what I'm trying to do for you guys. Tomorrow night, I have a search and rescue overnight. It's not real. It's just a drill. There's not a emergency that I need to go to, but it's something that I need to do. You don't need to. I mean, you can go to different locations where you're looking to do search and rescue, and you don't need to have done this. But like Avalanche 1 and 2, which I've done, you do need to do those. So I've done those, but I'm looking to also get in some of the other stuff. I'm even looking at doing a crash paramedics course here, maybe in the summer. But because all of them were full for the rest of the year. This is tomorrow into Friday that I need to do this. So I need to leave tomorrow morning super early. And so tomorrow night, on the Para, on the Gig App podcast by Para, we will have the history of para, and it's just an hour long or 50-minute long video. And it takes you back to the beginning with TT and some of the videos. It's just mainly some video clips, even that David and I did and that other people were doing. And if you guys remember the phone call that was made, and then I had to jump. There was You guys will have fun watching this, I think. But the round table will also go on. And check this out. Kim Side Money Plans isn't there this week. John Dash Theory. I told you guys last week he's been offered a job offer. I talked to him about it. I'm stoked for him. So he's for the next 12 weeks he's got evenings. So even after that, who knows? But kudos to John, love it. So we got some new people coming on. This is not like the cast that is gonna, or this is not the new panelists that you're gonna see. But Kim and I aren't there tomorrow. John's not there tomorrow. So guess what? It's the show must go on, right? So it's still going on. And the week after is the 2-year anniversary of the roundtable. Don't miss. We're gonna have some fun stuff going. But tomorrow night, don't miss it either, because you're gonna have Mr. Tom Kelly, Mr. Houston, the Jerry Garcia lookalike of our times. He's on the far, what are you guys seeing? On the far left, right? On the far left, correct? And so going from left to right, you have Tom Kelly, you have Cheyenne at Gig Work Mama, you have my friend Dana in Boston, DS Entertainment Networks. Dana is been doing rideshare since I have. He's in the middle since 2015. He has been doing Courier almost as long as me. In April or May is 3 years for me, and he came on in June. So June of this year is 3 years for him. He does Courier in a Prius in Boston. I've had him on before. He does very well. It also shows the size of car, but he also is very familiar with some legislation stuff. And next to him, I think most of you guys might know that guy. I'm sure a lot of you do, but if you don't, that is Mr. Welty, and Welty will be on this as well. And then if you don't recognize the guy on the far end, well, you should, because he is Bigfoot hunter. He is movie maker, stalker to the stars with his new movie Simp coming out. Mr. Tremaine Hayho. This might seem like a completely odd cast. So again, Tom Kelly, Cheyenne, Kim, and I will continue to be the regulars on the roundtable, and we are adding a fifth person. None of these people, and it's nothing against them, but none of these people are the three. It's not like let's see who does best tomorrow night. It's just that I picked this crowd specifically for some of the things I put down for Tom. And Tom and everybody, they're free to go their own directions too. I just have that combination of people looks fun to me. I don't know. I think that they're going to have some really good discussions. So that said, thank you guys for joining. Let me see if anybody else is over here in the chat. Okay. So I'll say from the start again, because I saw Cody was in here earlier. What's up, Cody? What's up, Traveler? What's up, Derek? What's up, Carlos in Houston? What's up, Rick? What is up, Mr. Tony, the Driven Dad? What are you doing? What is up, Killer Bulldog 420? How you doing? And what is up, Carnifage? Wait, what is this comment from Carnifage? I was watching a Lotus Eaters video. What the hell's that? Is that am I just not hip enough to know what that is, or like is that a misprint? What is a Lotus Eaters? Video where they had a ride share driver talking about gig work. You guys, the poster boy for what not to do as an IC. Honestly, Carnifage, there's a lot of people who I was, there's a lot of people who don't understand what being an independent contractor is. I talked to Mike about this today, and it wasn't like I'm like, damn it, these guys just don't understand it. They think they are. It's not like that. I actually feel bad because a lot of people came directly from W-2 work to gig economy, and gig economy work. I was telling Mike, I'm like, most of these people, if you ask them why, if they're like, I've worked W-2s all my life until I came to the gig economy. Um, so you're an independent contractor now. And whether, I mean, like, again, whether you think you are or not, because some of you have different, and I trust me, I'm right there. I'm kind of like, I can see it both ways. But technically that's how we're classified. And a lot of you that I've spoken with are like, well, I mean, the fact that I can turn on my app any time of day, work, a 10-hour day, a 2-hour day, all that. So basically flexibility. And there's just so much more to independent contractorship. And because these companies know we enjoy that flexibility so much, um, that is their main way to keep us. And I know that, like, some of you might say, well, DoorDash, and you got to schedule things now, you got to be a top yeah, I mean, that's because DoorDash has saturation beyond any other app in this country. In fact, tomorrow night on the roundtable, they will tell you guys that do I have the story right here? It's oh god, what was its title? Oh, I do have it right here. Hold on. Okay, so this is from Forbes. They'll be talking about it tomorrow night. Uber sets profit record. I've seen that around, right? They just put out their quarterlies, and I think March 13th. So at the closing bell, Lyft will put out their Q4 earnings for last year. But so Uber sets profit record as Lyft and DoorDash keep losing money. In that story is how DoorDash is losing volume too. So um, it's pretty interesting. Also, there's going to be a story tomorrow night. If you guys have seen a guest I love having on here, quite the mouth on her, but it's because she's angry and stuff. Uh, Miss Karen Anderson wrote an article, Biden's latest attack or something against independent contracting derives from California's disastrous AB5. What an article she wrote. It's great. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all that. They're going to talk to you guys tomorrow night. And plus, I also said to them, hey, jump around, do what you want. Um, like, we'll see what happens. I'm glad you guys know that this has only happened on few occasions. And there's only been one occasion where none of us were there. Like, Gary wasn't there. John wasn't there. I think it was over GigCon. That's why. And so Jason Thierry from the Gig Economy podcast, which, by the way, when this ends today, guys, go over and check out my friend Jason, the Gig Economy podcast, starts at the top of the hour. And Jesper retired last week. That was his last show. And Jason has filled the position with another really cool guest, Larry Duncan. And Larry is lifting with Larry, but you guys probably don't know him. He only does audio podcasts, really. And even that, he only puts them out when he puts them out. But he does have an Instagram. And if you guys want to go check it out, it's pretty cool because Lifting with Larry, he only really uses Instagram. It's the only social he's on. But he only does rideshare too. And he does it in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I swear, he does the college drives, and he has a million pictures on Instagram of like girls packed in his car, and they love Larry. They know him now. It's pretty funny. So go over and check that out after too. Those guys are going to do good things. Both those guys are great. Jesper was great as well too, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do. But back to this. So the Mike Karubi thing, the New York City guys, two things that New York City gig pay is failing. If you don't know, I'll be getting into that and the next one I'm going to talk about on 13 minutes this week. That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about the New York City gig pay. I'm going to explain it hopefully in the 13 minutes. Again, just a quick overview, and then I'm going to tell you how it's failing. Yes, there are some very few people telling me, well, I like it. I'm telling you, we have quite a few people that just through Pair I can always get in touch with drivers if I don't already know enough. I've talked to over 10. I've only had one person say they like it. And when I talked it through with them, they're like, "Oh, maybe I don't do it enough to realize that." So they recognized it was bad, but somehow it had been working out for them. But they also hadn't done it in a couple weeks. And I was like, well, that's when it rolled out. And I think when it rolled out, they were really kind of hooking everybody up. So um, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to talk about that, and hopefully, I'm going to have time to fit in the Seattle pay up, because if you guys remember, like Sergio is a big fan of the Seattle model. I was too when it was rideshare, because I do believe that rideshare should be somewhat involved in the TNC or the TLC, the Taxi and Limousine Commission, in almost every state. Because if you think about it, they are for hire rides, and unlike delivery and courier services and things like that, you are putting people in your car. So it's a whole different game, and that gives them some protections and better pay that I think they are deserved to have. And those limit and I believe in it too, because every state and city, that everybody has TLCs in place. So like, yeah, rideshare should be under it. You could still make the pay vary and be able to earn more, and you don't have to have a floor meet ceiling by doing that one. So that was working in Seattle, but they added the Seattle pay up delivery, and there is so much fallout problem from that up in Seattle right now. I won't get into that today here, but it's huge. It's horrible, um, because everybody thought it was going to be this great thing, but it was working for rideshare. Great, but it's killing their markets, believe it or not. But we'll get into that later. Couple things. I had a couple people asking me about curry orders, and the ones who are asking me are one even was today, but it's more than that one person. A few have been asking me this lately. Why am I getting these orders? And when I hit accept, uh, it's trying to grab it, and then, I mean, these are all people who have got orders many times, but it can't grab it. It's not like it was. I can't grab it. I hate to say this, and I'm going to make sure that I say it very clearly, because I can't tell you what the big apps do. We have enough problems with the giants, and this show isn't about that. So let's leave Uber, Lyft, Instacart, Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever. Let's leave them out of this. The smaller apps do, and I mean, I've talked to development teams, I've talked to CEOs, everybody do admittedly say that iPhones work quicker. Now, these are the smaller apps, and if you're thinking, well, I have an Android and mine works just fine. Well, maybe in your market there's enough time, or maybe you're on, like, what is it, delivered offers you, where it's just yours for a few minutes. So that's a little different. I mean, it's not quite round robin, but it's dispatched batches. So when you see one come with Curry, it's dispatched batches, that's you and five other drivers looking at it. And I can tell you, even if everybody opened it, because I've talked to the team, everybody opened it, 3 Androids and 2 iPhones. Everybody opened it the same second, hit it the same second. And if somehow, like, as long as there was no issue and they were all being sent at that time, the 2 iPhones would get it first. Now, that is not just Curry, that is everybody. It's because probably the bigger companies invest a little more in developing the app on both sides. Most people who have cross platforms, like most apps, like iPhone and Android, um, so if they have the iOS and the Android system, they're programming it in the iOS, and then they're bringing it over to the Android. Like, I can talk about this. We do this at Para. However, we put a little time into trying to clean up the Android side too, but really the bottom line is, I've talked to the techs, and I've talked to techs at other companies. So I'm not even going to just say Para. There's really not much that can be done. I don't know. It's been explained to me a few different ways, but there's really not much that can be done. It's not like even the best programming on the Android side. There's proven fact that the iPhone can react quicker to the apps. I can't explain it. Maybe I can get somebody on here who can explain it. And we can talk about it. In fact, I already know I could, because there's a couple people that they're not with Para either, but they could talk about especially with dispatch stuff, with dispatching courier stuff that I could get on here. Um, so let me try and do that. But that is something. And like Curry, I talked to him weekly. I try and talk to him on Tuesdays. This week we had to put it off because I had too much going on, but and so did he. But we try and talk on Tuesdays so that when I come here, I'm ready for some stuff. But um, I was at least able to talk to him, or text with him about a couple things, and he's saying they are absolutely working on it. The problem is that even when they've solved it, it's still going to the iPhone quicker. So he's been very honest. Um, I want to also tell you guys about John McKellion. um, you guys know that guy. If you don't, John McKellion used to do gig work, and now John has written books. He's who knows what he's going to be. He'll be an entrepreneur, so it doesn't matter what he's doing right now. John's a great guy. Go check out his channel. It's way different now, but he's always positive and whatnot. And I was finishing up my recording with Dashing Across America with Chuck, and when I finished, I saw John was live. John, and it said first live of 2024. Well, John's a good friend of mine. So I popped over there and he was like, Steve, and there's only a couple people in there. He said, join the live. I joined the live. And then let's see who else did. Then Nova did. And then Yost Malone did. So it was a really cool, fun stream. It was John McKellion, me, Nova, and Yost. And we all know each other very well. And then Nola Grind, David from New Orleans, he came into the chat and we started somehow talking about Curry. And let's see, who was it? Nova? Wait, no, Yost and Nola were on the way. Maybe Nova too. You guys, you would have to go back and watch, but I know Nola and Yost were on. Oh no, Yost hadn't even signed up, but he thought he had. Nova and Nola were on the waiting list for Curry and had been for like a year. About 3 weeks ago, somebody asked me, like, I don't know why it even came up. I didn't know, and I still haven't confirmed this, but I've told a couple people this now. Now I'm just telling all of you. For some reason, and it's not a bad thing, but when we had Yost sign up while we were on that stream, and he's like, okay, so I signed up. It said that they're processing. Now, I had already said something to people, and I think you'll get it now because it didn't ask Yost anything about it when he was signing up. But once it says, I think it spits back something that you're on a waiting list. Once it says that, because it doesn't say that right away, right? So once it spits that back, it's kind of saying, okay, we're ready for you, but you're still on the waiting list. I told somebody a few weeks ago, and then I told Nola and Nova, and I don't know how it turned out for Nova, but I already know that it worked for Nola, and I know it worked for somebody else too. I said, listen, because I knew he's like, I've been on the waiting list for like a year and a half, bro. And I said, well, go open it right now. And he said, yeah, I'm on the waiting list. I said, well, look at the vehicle. Do you have a, like, what vehicle do you have in there? And he said, there is no vehicle in there. I said, put a vehicle in there. Even if you're a Prius or whatever, Curry doesn't know what you are. So I don't even know if you're on the waiting list unless you put a vehicle in. I can't say that for sure. I'm going to hope to have an answer for you guys. But again, I told somebody a couple weeks ago they did it. The next day, they were checked by Checker. 2 days later, they were put on. I told Nola, and he did it. And he said he got a new submission screen. And since I've heard that, yeah, he said I got on it the next day. So somehow when you first sign up, I don't think it asks you for your vehicle. And then you get back like a first acceptance. Hey, we have a wait list in your area, but we'll let you know when a slot opens. And I'm going to tell the team too, because because obviously this isn't something they'd want to do, but I'm going to tell them, hey, I think you need to tell people to put in their vehicle. Maybe they, in the beginning, were scared. This will scare people away. Like, well, if I'm going to be on a waiting list, why am I going to give you my vehicle and stuff? I don't want to do that. I can see where that might have been the thing, but I'm going to tell them how big of, or at least to like email people and let them know you've been first level approved, put your vehicle in, and as soon as we have an opening in your area, then we'll get you on. Some kind of wording like that. Um, so, yeah, Bud Soda, the reason that they don't make it easier to change vehicles is because they used to. In fact, I could like change a vehicle in real time and drive the other vehicle. You didn't even need approval. When I remember back in the beginning, I had other people asking me about that too. I think that they don't want you um, having a box truck and a SUV, and you're switching back and forth all the time because they're truly trying to make sure. They're looking out for us on a level that no other most other apps aren't doing that. I mean, they're saying like, listen, we're very hard. They're a logistics company. I mean, I know Jesse very well. Jesse came over from JBL. Is it JB Hunt? JB Hunt, 18-wheeler trucking. He was the logistics operation manager for them. He came over to Courier, and I'm very tight with him. So unlike the other apps, they're very much about logistics and all of this. So um, they just want to make sure not too many people are on the app. They want to make sure that there's work for people, but they also want to make sure that there's enough people where not people are passing up offers because they understand the offers aren't on them; it's on the customers. So they do have a way of increasing and all that, but it's at the same time they're looking to do these extremely quick and hot shots matter. So, it's something, and I would say to any of you on the waiting list, I'm not making any promises, but I'd be if you're still on the waiting list, I would be if you're watching live today or if you're watching on replay, whatever. I would love to know. Put it in the comments, maybe not just in live chat, but put it in the comments of the show too. um, if you're on the waiting list and if you tried what I just said, if you put a vehicle in, did anything change? Even if you're not right away onboarded, did you get an email? Did something on the screen on the app change? Anything? Because we had Nola and Marco do it. I need to check in with Marco and Nova and see how it worked out for him. But like I said, we also had Yost sign up. And after it worked for Nola, I said to Yost, I said, well, then you go back in and put it in right now because you just signed up for the first time. And when he went back in there, he still didn't have that first approval level. So he couldn't do it. So that's another reason it's confusing. And I love things like this because I'm literally taking notes, right? So that's why I'm getting next meeting with Jesse. That's what I'm be saying. So um yeah. Also, let me see if I can tell you guys what it said. Because this is coming to a bunch of cities before Valentine's Day. It could be all the way to next Tuesdays and Valentine's Day Wednesday. It could be all the way to next Tuesday, but mostly this week. I'm already onboarded. Um, okay, hold on. I don't have it. Okay. So I had this sent to me because somebody wanted to know. This is exactly how it happened for me too. When I went from being on waitlist for Metrobi to getting on board with Metrobi. Metrobi was different than the rest. Super easy, and I've only had a couple. They've paid decent. I can see that it reminds me of kind of when Curry started. When I first got on Curry in April, May, it'll be 3 years. 3 years ago I got on Curry. It reminds me of that. They're paying good, but they don't have a ton of orders. But Metrobi sent out, and again, I'm on it, but they sent out a thing in many cities. But you already have to have signed up for Metrobi. So get the Metrobi app, sign up for it. It might say it's not in your area, whatever. If it doesn't even allow you to do anything, even if it's not in your area, okay. But if it is in your area, sign up. And in the next 3 to 4 days, if you do this today, probably tomorrow, maybe, I don't know. But we've had the CEO on the roundtable, and I had him on an audio podcast for Metrobi. I did text him today, and he said yes. He said most people, because okay, so let me read it. So this was another onboarding for the Denver area, and I had another driver who had signed up for Metrobi send this to me. Join us today at 2 p.m. Eastern for our Metrobi live driver onboarding. Only the first 100 drivers will be admitted. Have your account activated just in time for Valentine's Day. That's being sent out all over if you've already signed up for Metrobi. So some people say, well, it's not my market. You know me, I say sign up for it anyway, because when it does come, then you get a text like this. Or if you have signed up and it is in your market and you never got onboarded, you're very likely to see this because the other person who got this today signed up just about, I mean, within days that I did. I remember this. And we were both in Denver. It was before they were here. And I got this 2 months ago. 2 months ago, they onboarded another 100. And what it is a Google Meet link, and they only let in the first 100. And then once the 100 are in there, they just, they say, hey, this is only going to take 7 minutes or something. It's under 10 minutes. It's only going to take 7 minutes for the presentation, and they do it live. And then they say, but then we'll be around for another, 20, 30 minutes to answer questions if you want to stick around. You don't have to at that point, but it's kind of just talking about, how much it's actually pretty cool because it's not one of these stupid videos that you like when Uber does something. You can literally just you can grab and drag the timeline to the end and it counts as watching it. I mean, they're not doing anything. So this is a live presentation for 7 minutes. And if you leave during it, you don't get on. It's pretty cool. It's like a little, like in your app, as soon as you've done it the next day, a little digital check comes and says, thank you for completing. And in my case, that same day, it said, you've also been activated. I didn't see an order for like another week. But again, guys, I know that a lot of people are hurting with these apps. So I would say start onboarding to other things. And especially, did I even put this? Yeah. Start onboarding to Courier apps now. Because mid to late March, early April, that is the zone. I mean, some places are year round, the weather's fine, but mid to late March and early April, even where it is fine year round, and it's been decent here even for a winter, but every market, that is the time of year when courier work goes through the roof. All the apps, even the ones that pay bad, even the roadies, but then there's dispatch, right? There's so many. But here's the thing. Because of the March 11th Department of Labor rule change, we already know that like 50 to 60% of 18-wheeler truck drivers are independent contractors. Well, I have talked to enough people that I know Department of Labor, that's one of the first groups they're going after. They really want the truckers unionized. And here's what I'll say about it. Truckers are already off the road. Truckers are already not taking orders because it costs so much to run. I know gas prices are back down a bit, and they're probably about to go back up here soon. But to be honest, like, even though you're saying, well, remember they're all diesel too, but like you're thinking, well, they're down though right now. I mean, aren't they used to that kind of prices? They are. However, the offer boards, because I go to some of the offer boards too, the pay has gotten so bad on what the offers are that only like new independent contractor truckers are taking them, because it's like, I just got my rig, I got to do something. So like people are like really struggling and doing it. The old veteran truckers, they're parking their rigs and not working. So that sucks because you guys know from when I did TNC radio, Driver Nation, that was a trucker radio station. We did that for over 2 years. And we had a lot of truckers that we talked to, people that did gig work on the side. And above and beyond that, I have a big love for the truckers, big time. So it sucks, but it is providing opportunity for gig apps because even though none of us can fit what goes into an 18-wheeler, right? Unless you have an 18-wheeler, in which case you can be on Courier and some of these others and even do it that way, and some of the boards, but none of us are an 18-wheeler. So like when I went to Wichita, my guess is because of the way it went to this mid station, my guess is that they took an 18-wheeler's load and, broke it into, it wasn't because this one was plumbing, but I saw some pretty big ones going into some other vehicles. And to be honest, I think that it's because trucking's down. Like I saw some box trucks there, more than normal doing these pickups. And I think that they're just literally having to adjust on the fly to, we don't have, and this is the type of problems that are going to come up with the rule change. You guys don't forget that, you know, think about this. 50 to 60% of truckers are independent contractor truckers. Already 10 to 15% are off the road, not working because of the low prices of payload and the semi-high prices of gas that have gone from semi-high to high to back and forth. But it just doesn't, the math doesn't work for them. So they've just kind of been chilling. Well, what about when 15 becomes 50 or 60%? I mean, we remember in not a few years, or just a few years ago, when it was hard to get baby formula, toilet paper, that kind of stuff. You guys think that was a supply chain problem? Wait till 50 to 60% of 18 wheelers aren't working in this country. Now, I know there's a lot that I was saying it's an opportunity for us too, but we can't fulfill that void. That's not even feasible. And yeah, we're going to feel it. So again, another thing to fight this. So this bad legislation. And if you missed the start of this video, please go back and watch it, because I gave, I'm asked, Mike Harubi and I are asking for your help. Big time. I'm working directly with Mike now. If you came in late, I won't go into the details exactly, but this says it all. DoorDash, Uber, gig app workers, we need your help. Be my own boss. So if you missed the start, go back and watch the start, please. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about today, and then I'll jump over to the chat, see what you guys got going on, is my dumpling. And and also the last Tuesday of this month, I will have Stephanie Vigil on to talk about the legislation that at the town hall, Senator Priola, who opposed it, who showed up at the town hall, we got enough voice in his ear, and they've now come up with a bill together that he's sponsoring. So another win. But I wanted to talk to you guys about dumpling, because it's time, man. Like, again, we're all pivoting. We're all going, man, which apps? What should I be doing? What should I be doing? Well, here's the thing. Like, I think like for me anyway, I should have done this long ago, because I only have a few regular clients because I never have the time. I need to make the time. I need to make the time to get more dumpling clients, because also dumpling has a thing called Dumpling Resort now. Hopefully Holly and I will get back here soon to being able to do an every other week. I know she's going to try and do something every week, but where I'll be able to join her too and do this dumpling difference show, because there is a big thing coming out, and I think there's going to be a lot of room for people to earn on dumpling. But there's a dumpling resort, or dumpling vacation and resort, and the training videos alone can kind of show you if your area would work for it or not. If you think, well, I live in, I live in wherever, this isn't, they're not going to have vacation resorts. It applies to like working with Airbnb owners too. So it's kind of the same thing as dumpling, but there's a lot of potential to have like consistent, amazing work with great pay. But I wanted to show you guys, because I hadn't had a dumpling in weeks, I think. Been pretty busy, but I got one yesterday. And should I start with my profile or no? Okay, I'll show you guys. So I'll start with my earnings, because let me show you the earnings, and then I'll show you everything's transparent. With dumpling, unlike Instacart, you have to produce the receipt. You have to take a picture for the dumpling app of the receipt, and you have to put it into the bag or give it to the people, like the people I work with. I want more clients because they all trust me enough. And like I've always joked about putting it in the dirt, they don't care about that. Or they don't want that to happen. They want it in their fridge. So I have deals worked out where I'm doing that. I mean, it doesn't matter. But the person that I did it for yesterday, I've done it for many times. they were one of the people that got me another client of mine. However, I wanted to show you what it might say fewer items than it was because, like I think I've told you guys, I just have them. I just say, listen, just so that the order can get held by the dumpling card, and so I can go run it. Because most people prefer this, is just to put one put one item into the cart on dumpling, make an order, because then I can spend as much as I want. Um, on their order. But what they've been doing is for a long time, I just had them writing. They were preferring to write it down, and some of them even had like fridge lists for their groceries, and they were just taking a picture of that, and I was working with that, so that worked great. But now like King Supers and Safeway and stuff, they have apps, and I've told them if you want to use those too, and then just send me a picture of the checkout and just don't do it, but put one item in the dumpling. But regardless, I put her groceries away. This took me in all about 50 minutes. Again, where I was took me about 15 minutes to get to the store I needed to. And then the person lives about 2.5 miles away. But I put the groceries away for her. Definitely not over an hour from the time I arrived at the store to being back in my car and driving away from her house. Probably closer to 45, 50 minutes. And I made 84.23. So you set all your own prices on dumpling. I think you guys know that, but I have mine set at it says shopping and delivery. I have mine set at 15% of the grocery total. You can do flat dollars, you can do percentages. I have mine set at 15% of the total shop, and a $20 minimum. So if they want $50 of groceries, I'm getting at least $20. So I made on the 15. So once it goes over 100, I'm getting 15%. That was 32.55. Gratuity, 43.40. She tipped 20%. After I put it, the processing is just that's a fixed fee. Depending on the level you are at, you can get it down a bit, but yeah. So it's not dynamic like Uber. It's not going to go all over the map, and that it's not always that high. It's based on a percentage. So if I'm doing a smaller order, but she threw in an extra 20 after I left her house and had put the groceries away, which took an extra 5 minutes, and 84.83. Now, here's the invoice, and I wanted to show you guys this, especially because this specific client. This specific client was using Instacart a lot and told me that even what you're seeing here is cheaper than she would spend on the same grocery order through Instacart with like a $10, $15 tip. So with all the fees, the upcharging, all that, this, that, and the other, like same amount of groceries, she's told me, it was going to come out like everything all totaled, and a $15 tip was getting me bad service for about the same amount of money. So the shopping and delivery you see at the top, that's 15% of her $216.98 of groceries. She tipped 20%. The platform fee, that is, I can you can choose when you're setting your accounts up to waive this so that you say I'm taking it on, but I don't. I let them. But if I am now at a point where I'll offer it to the customers, like, hey, if you want me to, I can include that, but I'd rather you just see it. Most customers these days are so sick of the gig apps that when they get off them, they want to see these line items because this looks fair to them. The platform fee is like for processing the credit card. And I mean, that's, if you're thinking that's high, then you're crazy because no other gig app's taking that little amount of money. But so there's her total. Very, very forward. You can also in your zones, you can select which areas you want to work. Now I'm seeing more open marketplace offers because I've expanded my zone. So you have to manually enter all the zip codes. I only had mine entered. My area is it's not small because I live in Denver, But let me show you how many zones I have now, and I'm gonna be adding a few more too, but I've added all of these. See how it looks grid like a DoorDash zone or something? I've added all of these as zones I will shop. So now I'm seeing the marketplace show me a lot more because I only had one. Now I've got, I don't even know what that is, like 15 or something zones. And then there's my page, Shop with Steve. It's the default name they gave me because I could not think of a name and I gave up because I was not starting it a while back. But my rating is a 5.0, 38 completed deliveries. Or yeah, so 5.0 out of 38 orders, 30 plus. I don't know why they just don't put 38, but out of 38 orders, five five-star rating every time. And then it's led to me doing some other things too. Even the new dumpling page says, hey, use this person for groceries, running your errands, doing house chores. I mean, like now they're just openly advertising it. It's awesome. Love dumpling. But it's always been a thing where it's something you can make happen, but you got to put the time into it. And so I do okay with it. But if I mean a lot of my customers pay me well, this is pretty damn well. But if I could get 10, 15 clients, that's gonna really between that and Courier probably be, I mean, I wouldn't delete all the other apps, but I'd be good. I would be very good. Even 10. 10 regulars. But I mean, as many as I could get. I need to get very proactive about this. So if you guys haven't checked out Dumpling, please check it out. Check out Metrobi. Get signed up because right now they are doing this Valentine's Day thing. That's what he texted me too. He said it's kind of a we know spring's coming up, so we're trying to get as many people activated by Valentine's Day. So get on Metrobi, sign up, and if it says you're on, we'll get back to you. At least you've done it. And then what they do is you'll just get a text. It won't. You're not going to get an email, or you might, or whatever, but you'll get a text saying same type of thing I got. And it comes in about 5 hours before it's happening. It says if you can be here today at this time, and you click a Google Meet link, you go. So with that said, let me see who said comments that I need to address. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Killerbug. Appreciate you saying that. Hey, John Fisher, what's up? How are you? I have. Wait. Steve, it's been a giant struggle. Got beat out on last 6. I put in. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Instacart? What is this? Uber is way more saturated. Yeah, well, Uber also doesn't have the volume that it does. Hello, traditional IC. Killerbug, what issue are you asking about Ken Buck? I saw that. I don't know what it was either that he put. Whose side is Ken Buck on? Let me not. I'm after talking to Mike a few times. He's got me a little. He's got me being more careful. So let me make sure before I give you an answer. I don't even want to tell you anything I think because if I don't want to be wrong, I want to make sure I get it right. The guy started with a rental car and he bought a passenger van. He was talking about 12-hour days and how sitting was affecting his health. Yeah, well, I mean, look at me. I mean, I'm going out search and rescue overnight, backcountry. I'm going to hike. Look, guys, I mean, I hope all of you get out of your car and stretch and I mean, take your lunch in a park. I know a lot of you aren't going home for lunch. Take your lunch in a park. And don't just pull up to the park and walk to the bench, pull up to a different part of the park and walk a mile to a bench. Sit down, leave your phone in the car. Literally, turn yourself off for a minute, eat your lunch. You can still be quick about it and be back in your car. But I mean, I hear you, Carnifage, and I think if not, join a gym, do something like I do snowboarding in the winter and hiking in the summer, and I'm not, I do it pretty extreme, but anything, walk around your neighborhood, do something. I mean, we can't, yes, sitting in your car is not good. There's a lot of not good things for you. There's stuff that you shouldn't be breathing that we let you breathe and we give you a mask and we say, yeah, you're good. And then everybody dies of something 40 years later. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't good for you. Any kind of repetitive stillness of your body or being in one weird position isn't good for you. So, I mean, stretch. And guys, I go out snowboarding all the time, and I've been trying to get better, but stretching's huge. I hate it. I used to have to do it for some sports in high school, but to be honest, I I just every time I'm doing it, I'm just older, and oh, it's another thing I got to find time for, and it's just not comfortable. So, and I think I'm in pretty good shape. So, um, Carnifage got to get up and move. That's right. Um, that's how I sustain long days. I don't know, Bud Soda. I think that, yeah, I know you hustle your ass off, bro. You always have. However, I think you've kind of maybe I'm wrong, but I think you've kind of got your hours a little more balanced. You might still be working a ton of hours, but I feel like you've got it more balanced. You seem to be fitting in sleep because when I hear you lately talking, if it's UDMs or wherever, you sound like you're way more slept, rested. Um, Damn, I just got a Samsung. Time to switch. Dude, don't do it because of that. At least, I don't know, or wait. Just wait because right now it's still winter. Let's see if they get it corrected. Okay. Like I said, I know they've been trying. So let me see where we're at with that. Um, yeah, need to make it easier, but I think I told you why that can't be. Um, and again, there's some apps, Bud Soda, that do let you switch it real quick. But guess what? They're failing to curry. So my thing is, why would Curry change it? Like I always say, Curry's the top shelf of couriers. I don't care. Some other people might say no. Maybe in their market is no. That just means it really just means there's not a lot of business. As far as like transparency, upfront pay, being good to you, having, I don't know. I'm all team Curry, and you guys know that. So uh, um, so let's see. Steven Croach. Tony, you know what? If I get any down there, you're doing it. You can keep the money too, man. I don't want to be driving down there. I'll give it to you, man. Like, I really will. Part of it's why I picked down there because you know me. Like, if you guys aren't familiar, if I can bring that back up here real quick, um, what Tony's talking about is see where it see where the dot for Denver is, the actual downtown. I'm fairly close to that. Tony's down at the more southish end of that green. Um, so uh that was kind of actually Tony, that was kind of my plan because it's not like it's not like the apps. It's not like it's going to feed me something and I got to run down there and do it. Um, it's that um I'll be offered something. I'll be contacted by a customer or a potential client, and so or whatever. And so at that point it would be like, well, what do you need? And the prices and all that stuff. And yeah, the gig apps are better at hiding. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing, bro? How do I spell what? And is this a joke? I feel like Tony's much better now. For those of you that don't know, Tony has like 17,000 kids and or I mean 17 kids, sorry. And 17 kids is a lot to have. That's a I don't even that's Guinness Book of World Record stuff. But the whole family's been sick, so it's like just been constantly passing back and forth. But he must be feeling better because he's joking, right? Grocery wars. Billy. Yeah, Bill. By the way, guys, whenever you see Joe, he's not Billy. You're Billy. So Joe, you can't call Joe Billy. Joe, you say something to Joe, and it's like he'll say, "Thanks, Billy." Like, you're Billy. He's not Billy. Tony, Buck is trash. I didn't say nothing. Um, your health is important, Billy. I love Joe. Driven Dad, I agree. Glad he's not running again. Yeah, you guys know it's always gotta be somebody. I don't put the politics, even though I know we were talking about it, but again, it was a positive light of recording a video. We're trying to monitor, especially these days with YouTube and stuff. We gotta be careful about the politics. Um, remember why you're hustling so hard and take some time to do that. Yeah. I between what I be needing a voice to text is what you I between walk more walk. I between walk more walk. I'm sorry, but so you know I love you to death. Oh god. Okay. Okay. That's that for some reason that sentence is driving me nuts. The new lift pay structure is 5 to 10% pay cut. Yep. So I don't talk about the Giants on this, but Life of Richard is correct. That 70, that crap that came out about 70%, and you're gonna get 70%. We're gonna show you how there's a structure and there's an easy way to dissect it and see how that's not true. Richard is totally correct. I'm not sure on that number. I wouldn't even be shocked if it was a little more of a pay cut. But let's say he's right. I mean, it is a pay cut. It's saying that you're getting 70%, and they're gonna show you how, but they're gonna show you how after they pull some other monies out and whatnot. In the end, you're gonna make less. So let's see. Nah, I'm not having had only 6 hours of sleep in 2 days. Okay, forget it, man. I thought you were doing better. Uh thanks. I need to get my stuff started. Well, see, that's the other thing, Tony. This is why we need to grab coffee, Tony. We can do a coffee in Colorado too, but we need to go um to the coffee house by me. I won't say what we call it, and don't you say it either, Tony. But we need to meet there and talk because I'm happy to. I mean, there's no reason that we couldn't use my dumpling account as one. Because, and here's why I say this, because I have a high ranking and I have a lot of delivers. So when people are looking, I'm one of the people who has the most in the area for zip codes. So why wouldn't we just want to increase that number? You and I could be doing this together and taking on the different clients that we want. So we think we've kind of talked about it before, but we need to talk. Curry knows what vehicle to. Oh yeah, so that's Metrobi. Yeah. Tony is good. Had a great combo with him. How would you know, dude? You're on 6 hours of sleep in 48 hours, bro. As far as I know, you didn't talk to Tony or UDM, and you just dreamed it while you were awake. I love Bud Soda, and I do because I don't want to see anything happen to that guy. I just don't ever want to see. I don't ever want to hear a story, Bud Soda, about something happening to you because you were too tired. I think in here, all of us said, that's got to take care of ourselves too. Metrobi. Okay. The last one, the one with an I, Metrobi. So real quick, here, let me just tell you, this will be quick. Okay. It's been a while, but real quick, I'm gonna run through some apps, uh, just that you can look into in your area because I think you guys should all be onboarding as quick as you can. So, Bungee Driver, Runner, Axle Hire, Point Pickup. You'll have to go back and listen if you're trying to write these down. Mothership, VYO Driver, not VHO, but VEYO. They have moved. They are kind of the entry level. If I got it correct, the entry level um, medical courier. They don't have as many of the hurdles you have to jump to get into some medical courier. I don't endorse it. I don't not that one. I don't endorse this next one because I don't think liquor delivery is right. But if you are tip certified and if you are sure you're legal to drive, and I don't mean because you think so, because I'm telling you, almost every state has some rules to it. There isn't just Drizzly that's Uber. There's Saucy. You guys can look into that. Freight, Dispatch, um, Drop Off, Go Share Driver, Easy RX Deliveries, Partner, Gig Point, GoPuff. You can skip the line through Paraworks, Steady, On Fleet, Laundry Pickup, Hamper, Gopher Driver, Seamless, Curry Driver, Roadie, and these are just Metrobi with an I, Dumpling, Cartwheel if you can get an invite, Delivered, and Fetch. And there's more too, but that's what I got. So there was a bunch. You'll just have to go back through them. And Sabrina from Texas, Favor. Yeah. Did I not mention Favor? I thought it said Favor, but thank you for pointing that out. That said, you guys, that's a wrap. We're going to get out of here, but go check out the gig economy. Jason has a gig economy podcast. Jason has a new co-host tonight. And yeah. No matter what he says, even though he always calls you Billy, always call Joe. This is Detroit Joe right here. Sub to his channel and always call him Billy. That said, we're out of here. Go check out the Gig Economy podcast. Again, they got that new, he's got a new co-host. I know Larry, his new co-host, good guy. So let's see what they're doing over there. And until next week, you guys be good. See you soon.